Hello, everybody. I will not stand between you and lunch. I promise to take 10 minutes, but I will be skipping through 3 slides. I timed it before coming in. I'm Johanna Herron. I work at the Department of Natural Resources, Division of Agriculture. I'm here today. Next. Got it. The vision, and I think I heard somebody else talk about it different. You used the word why earlier in our team is that everybody has access to Alaska-grown food and farm products, that all farmers have a reliable source, a reliable market, and that every business, person, and organization fulfills their role in that process. Up here you see pictures of different people in that vision across Alaska. What does success look like? I've had the opportunity and fortune to go around the nation really and look at different states and what's going well for them, what's not going well for them in their state departments of agriculture, and I've learned a lot. I've seen things work well, I've seen things not work well, and what I take away from it is that the things that are working well, they're based on this foundation of intention, balance, and integrity, and I want you to think about that as we go through these slides today. Alaska is one of 2 states in the entire nation, this might be something you don't know, that is a division of agriculture, not a department. The other one is Rhode Island. I put up some little maps up there for you to really sink in. Rhode Island can fit into Alaska 425 times. So that's the smallest state in the nation and the largest state in the nation that have a division of agriculture as opposed to a Department of Agriculture. I want to tell you 2 big things today, okay? I'm going to tell you about our state market services and our world market services. Typically in Alaska, what we've been focused on are our state market services, and we've done that really well. Oh, I skipped one. Alaska Grown. I think a lot of people are familiar with this program. It's the 2nd longest state branded program, state agricultural branded program in the nation. The other one is Jersey Fresh, that's the longest one. We have the 4th largest, biggest Facebook following in the nation, which is pretty good for our state population, right? Almost 59,000 followers. The most recognizable logo in the state. It's amazing. We've done really well. We do so much more. Now this so much more, a lot of it is from a funding source called Specialty Crop. Every single state in the nation gets Specialty Crop, the Specialty Crop Block Grant Program. I'm going to come back to this. I want you to think about that. We have a directory listing, a mobile app. We've gotten into the modern age. We have the $5 challenge campaign. We're experts in farmers market. We've done research. We have a restaurant promotion program. We have grant opportunities, marketing materials, farm to school expertise. We're a liaison for all kinds of things, expertise with like agencies, university, federal people. We do a lot of stuff with very little staff, very little money. Uh-oh. These are the 3 I have to skip. I don't have time. Okay. Our world market services. So these are things that we haven't been I don't think we've talked about these as much when we go out. And we haven't done these as much, I don't think. We have very few inspectors, but we do phytosanitary inspections. Earlier you heard about seed potatoes. That would be the phytosanitary inspections. They also inspect timber sales, peony sales. We do industry research. So as our peony industry started taking off, we wanted to balance that with mitigating trade barrier issues. So that helped world market issues. The thrips getting into certain markets that's quarantined in a lot of countries, but we knew that our peony industry wanted into those countries, so we went out and got a grant so we could help with that. We also do international trade development. So every state has access to something called an SRTG, that's a state regional trade association. Ours is WUSADA, Western U.S. Agricultural Trade Association. We have access to this trade group, one of 13 states where we can go in and ask for money to hold a trade activity. Think about that with the specialty crop, okay? We're gonna come back to it. Our update, this is super exciting, our export update. In the last 2 years, we've been able to host 2 WUSADA interns at the Division of Agriculture, free to the state of Alaska, $24,000 brought in for these 2 interns, and they have brought us from 2 to 51 registered companies with WUSADA that are now eligible for trade activities. We have hosted 2 trade activities, both with Canadian buyers. The top one, you might recognize him in this room, Heather's Choice, was a consumer-oriented activity, and the bottom one there was our first ever 100% agricultural-focused trade activity with Canada, and that was with the peony industry. Half of the buyers that attended this have already purchased or intend to purchase peonies from Alaska peony producers, which is exciting. Out of this, we leveraged $100,000 from this agricultural trade association, and $1 million was reported in initial sales from 17 companies. The other one is going to be in November, and that one is a mariculture seafood trade thing that we'll be doing in partnership sort of with ASME, and that is in November. Let's see, I have one more stat, hold on, I wrote it down. And so we also did a little analysis. We don't run Made in Alaska, but we partner with them a lot. And we looked into 1,500 companies out of Made in Alaska membership and Alaska Grown, and we found that over 500 of them were eligible companies in one of these categories or more to participate in a trade activity of some sort. So there's a lot of potential. And I guess what I want to leave you with is, what does success look like? Let's go back to that. It's intention, it's balance, it's integrity, right? Can I go back to? How do I go back? Okay. So when you take Alaska and you compare it to these other two states, let's think of specialty crop as, in many states, you use that in those state market resources, right? You're using it to do the state stuff in state. When you look at the market access program, which is the other federal funding source that I was talking about, the SRTG, the Western US Agricultural Trade Association, we're going to compare Alaska to two states. I just picked two states. And we're going to talk about the opportunity Alaska has. Let's just dream a little. Let's paint a picture, okay? So our specialty crop award that we get is $253,000. In Washington, they get $4,800,000 or $800,000. They're the second highest award in the nation. California gets $23 million, or that's what they got this year. Now, maybe something's wrong with the calculation. Maybe we could just grow a lot more and get access to some of that. But how could there be such a huge difference between the top award and the second award? I think there's a ton of opportunity right there. The market access program, so we get some through our SRTG, right? We get that was the $100,000 I was telling you about for hosting those 2 trade missions. There's also a number in parentheses. That number is for another organization that takes advantage of those funds. It's called a cooperator. That one is Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute. They bring in $4,382,465. In Washington, just a brief skimming over the other cooperators, I found 4 that were Washington-based. One is the Seed Potato Commission, and they bring in $8 million to access world market trade activities. That means they can go over to other countries or bring other people in. In California, I looked over it, and I only picked the ones with California in the name, so there's probably more than 11. But I found 11 with California in the name, and there were $20 million being taken advantage of, federal dollars, that we could access, I think, in Alaska. So I'm painting your picture. We have a long way to go. We have tons of opportunity, nothing but up. So this is the vision, repeated again. This time the pictures are from our world opportunities. The first picture, as you remember, had Alaska opportunities. In Alaska, I think we have so much opportunity, nowhere to go but up, and I'm super excited. Thank you for having me. Do you have any?